Participate in a conversation with once conservative, now liberal Midwest mastered prepared special education high school teacher and a self-proclaimed devil's advocate, East Coast conservative liberal, baccalaureate prepared registered nurse. These two strangers met, became instant friends, and realized their conversations are candid and epic. So join us weekly, ask us questions, and listen to these profoundly candid friends try to solve the world's problems, one discussion at a time.
Welcome to another excellent episode of The New Theory with Monet and Jared, aka TNT with MJ. I am Jared.
I'm Monet.
And together we are teaching minds
and nurturing souls.
Well, Monet, we took the week off for Thanksgiving, and just real quick, how was your break?
I had a wonderful break. I had 5 people in my house, including myself, which means I had my 2 daughters and my 2 sons. We had the bird. We did a really interesting way. We wrapped it in like parchment paper. When we cut up the bird, it was 16 pounds, chopped it up in sections. Like, really? Like, that was crazy. It was like, well, we got to get it done quick because I don't have time for this. I didn't start cooking until 9 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. And I was like, we're only having a few sides. And so with that being said, had a fabulous Thanksgiving with traditional Thanksgiving meals, but we realized next year we're definitely even going to scale back even more. We don't care. We're probably not going to do a turkey at all, as a matter of fact. I know. How not traditional is that?
Right.
But it was all about the camaraderie, the community, and all about getting together. And that's really what brought it home. And that whole that tryptophan that comes in turkey, I can't deal with it. If I eat, I'm already going to go to sleep. I don't need no extra help. Okay. Yeah. But with that being said, guess what we did after we ate the turkey, my brother?
Watch this.
Hamilton. Finally.
There you go.
Finally. I finally watched it. And can I just say, with a 22-year-old and a 19-year-old who know the music, like they sing it like it's real rap music. So watching them, and my oldest daughter has seen it like 120 times. She said she's a hammer. I don't know what they're called, a hamette or whatever. I don't know. Apparently there's a whole group of people that just delved into this musical and know the music and can say the words to each other, parts of the play.
Yeah.
And the musical rather. And guess what? Watching their energy with regards to their excitement, and then seeing, and them not even recognizing the race of the characters, just, seeing the individual. It's ironic that they used minorities for the whole cast, which ironically distracted, like it detract the race element with regards to the characters of the character. Okay, does that make any sense?
No, it makes perfect sense. But I'm gonna say something and just
Please
say
do.
that I really appreciated the I don't know if the irony.
King?
Yeah, I don't know if irony is the right word.
It is irony.
But the fact that a white man is playing the king.
Yeah. Right.
And it's
ironic. No, because all of the Americans, the new America, which was considered subservient, were all minorities, and the king is still Caucasian. It was just beautiful. It worked out well.
Yeah.
FYI, I also have this.
Okay, duly noted.
Yeah. Okay. That's that ADHD popping in, because it's Christmas is around the corner, so I just want to pop it.
Right. It's exciting time. All right. Well, we do have questions for each other this week.
Yes.
And I say questions because I guarantee you, the listening audience, that this question is going to spawn a whole lot of other questions, but some great conversation.
Yeah.
So let me set it up. On my way to work the other day, listening to NPR, I heard this quote, and I want to say something to the effect of, I have never heard a white person say to another, "You're no longer white." And so I thought that I heard that, and it, not necessarily triggered me, but just kind of perked my ears up, and it got me thinking. So here's your question.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
Because I got something with that. But go ahead.
Okay. So it got me thinking. So here's the question. Do you think the idea of quote unquote the other stems from slavery that started circa 1450? Or does it go back further than that, where it could be argued that the other stems from a caste or a class system in the early agrarian civilizations? And for those that don't know, agrarian civilizations are those early civilizations that developed in the Indus River Valley several thousand years ago. And it's agriculture. It's a civilization built on agriculture, hence agrarian. So that being said, that's what that is. So.
Well, let me first attack your first statement with regards to, I don't hear white people saying, and you got to say it like this, Jared, I'm taking your white card. So with regards to, if you don't eat green bean casserole, I'm revoking your white card.
That's funny.
Because that's what it's in regards to. Like if black people we revoking your black card if you don't eat greens or something like that, or grits or something, and we actually make fun of it because sometimes people don't like grits, and it doesn't mean that they're black and they're not. It's just a joke, but it's ironic because that now how do you intertwine other with that, because it is perceived within the black community, if you don't do these perceived black ethnic things, then you must be something else if you're not black. But it's never said. Sometimes it is said like, oh, you just acting white or whatever that is. But and it's just like, tongue in cheek. But on the flip side, no, white folks don't say that to each other. Like, but what do they say in replace, Jared?
They traditionally call us race traders. So right. Que surprise.
What? Nutty. No, it's true.
It is.
And I mean, and that's more derogatory, whereas the tongue in cheek within the black community, I mean, sometimes I guess it can get a little deep, but with regards to being considered a traitor, because it all stems from denying your race and being a traitor.
And that's what I was getting. That's kind of where that connection is. Because without that definition of the other, there wouldn't be a need to revoke the black card.
And that understanding, well, okay, so when we go back, when we discussed this earlier, I'm saying, and again, I know this is such a pervasive topic, but we're talking about evolution. I don't want to keep using primates, but you look at anywhere in the animal kingdom, there is a sense of hierarchy with every living thing. Right. And with that, but how then do we become the divine individuals, the divine beings that we are? We are evolving now. And with the term other, based on inferior, because that's what it is.
Exactly.
Based on off of, I mean, but I love I love your history, your historical input with regards to the understanding of this term other. When you were talking about the agricultural society back in the what?
The earliest one, if I can remember my history correctly, the earliest one on record goes back to about 9,000 or 6,000 years ago. Or no, I'm sorry, 9,006 or 9 to 6,000 BC. My bad.
Oh my God! Which is how many years ago?
Well, we're in the 2000s now, so.
Ooh, that's like 11.
11 to 8, yeah.
Yeah, 1,000. This is, you said, from, if I'm not mistaken, this was 100 years after the first ice age, last ice age.
Yeah, those guys. About 1,000 years after the last ice age. Yeah.
Mm, 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 mm. So, with that being said, I champion Americans, I champion humans, not just Americans, across the planet to start analyzing themselves and start, recognizing that, are we now evolving away from a form of caste system, a form of imposed superiority with regards to us versus them and others, meaning inferior with regards to, is that really inferior? I mean, I don't know, Jared. My mind is just going so many places when you say things like that, because we say things like third world. Well, who's the first world country? Oh, you trying to say America's first world? Because, honey, I've been some places in the United States and they're not very first worldy. Okay.
Right.
So with that being said, and now they're even showing, wait, their carbon footprint of these supposed third world countries is almost non-existent. People are very content and comfortable with life. They don't need to amass all these extras and unnecessaries. So, question, I mean, like, who is living more superior? So is the other worse or better, or are we the other? I mean, like, so
Wow.
it's thought-provoking, because we
Quite.
have to. Oh, wait, you mentioned it several times. It's called critical thinking.
Yeah.
So we have to think critically. Like, we can't just accept it on those terms.
Yeah.
We have to delve deeper. And I know it may seem like a very strange discussion, but where do you play in this whole spectrum of other? Like, are you now imposing that there's a form of superiority? I mean, but and it's not like I don't have the answers. We just thinking.
Oh,
Probing.
I never said that. Oh, don't give me that. Quick. For the radio audience, she kind of just gave me this kind of glared, almost comical look. At any rate.
He's so damn smart. 2 masters, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I have to say.
Nah.
Just trying to say.
Oh gosh, where was I going? No, I never said that I considered anybody else the other.
No,
but
not us.
But that definition, if you will, derived from, oh gosh, I forgot the guy's name already. But the Portuguese author under the orders of the Portuguese king, who was given permission by the frickin' Pope
to start.
Excuse me. Yeah, to justify slavery. Hey, can you paint this picture to justify it? And so black is defined. There's now a defined black. So therefore there's a defined white. So if the ones who are subjecting the black
caste system,
they're the other.
Yeah.
Because now you have a white superiority, or not a white. Yeah.
Jared, when we have these discussions, I love that it comes from your perspective, because it's like, this is an intelligent, informed white male mind, okay, grappling with trying to at least find the origins and try to make sense of it, even though it's not right, even though there's a way we have to discontinue this system that we're currently living in. But it's good to have foundation of knowledge and understand this is where it's coming from. And I love that you keep plowing away at it.
Yeah.
And you keep bringing us this information so that we can build an understanding of, oh, well, this is where it comes from. Oh, now I understand. It makes sense. That's one.
Yeah.
2, now I'm trying to think I'm trying to think in my head how then we can start bridging these conversations and bridging the gaps. And we discussed this earlier. Now I am going to jump into this other question, and I have to bring it up again, Jared.
Sure.
I have to bring it up because it's still like there's an invisible wall there. And I am imploring, and I'm going to start with Black people, African Americans, to be patient with Caucasian Americans. Okay?
I love how you said that.
I'm serious. We've got to be patient.
You got your African Americans, you got your Native Americans, you got your Mexican Americans, you got your, now you got your Caucasian Americans.
Exactly. Be patient, because let me tell you, I'm going to say it, and I'm going to keep saying it till it finally hits. I am dyslexic. Okay. It takes me. I have learned the tricks of the trade to understanding me. So I have to, when I'm introducing new information to me, I have to hear it. I have to see it. I have to draw it. I have to do all kinds of things. So to make it alive for me to hold on to and understand it. And when I see white Americans, Caucasian Americans, I'm just going to say that, whatever. I see a whole bunch of dyslexic people, no offense, but they don't, it's like, why would you, I remember being told as a kid, why don't you understand it? And when I hear minorities say this to white people, I'm like, yo, that's a trigger for me. That's a trauma for me. No, you can't just say it once and expect them to get it. You can't say, well, they got the internet, they can go find it. I don't know how to navigate the internet. And I don't know how to go up to white people and say, Black people or minorities, and be like, tell me your struggles, please. Again and again and again, because I don't get it. No, we have to be patient. I refuse to tell white people, go Google it. I mean, there are people that want to be ignorant, but you know what? Everybody deserves a chance. Case in point, if I see an African American, or if I see a woman of color having a wig or a weave, right? No shame, no disrespect.
Right.
Are they appropriating what? Well, we could go into the history of where wigs and stuff come from, ancient Egypt, whatever, this, that, and the other. But isn't it recognized that that was the Parliament community? Isn't it recognized? Wigs then were. I mean, we can just don't say if you see a white woman with braids or locks, or a man for that matter, and be like they're appropriating. And look, hold on. Don't. First of all, you don't have to. Okay. Because my mind instantly jumped into the rappers, and I'm like, you don't have to listen to the music, all right?
Yeah.
And if they're good, they're good. So, I mean, we have to pause on they're being, and go ahead, because you jumped on me earlier. I'm telling them about our pre-conversation. You didn't jump on me, but you were like, Monet, you need to understand. Go ahead.
No, I didn't say, first off, I didn't say it like that at all. And what she was trying to say that she stopped herself from saying was appropriating the Black culture.
Yes, there you go.
And so my point, it was more of a question, and just to, playing devil's advocate.
Yes.
For all the oppression in every way, shape, and form that the Black and brown community have suffered at the hands of those lighter than them for the past 400 years. Could it not be argued that seeing a white girl or white man wearing their hair or dressing, I'll just leave it at the hair, because then we can get to the history of dress, but that's a whole nother conversation. But wearing their hair in a traditional Black fashion with locks, dreads, fro, whatever, I'm now being stereotypical, so my bad and my apologies. I'm getting off the topic.
No, you're fine. No.
I mean, there's just all kinds of examples, is my point. could it not be argued that the Black person who sees that view it as a slap in the face? Like, how dare you, after 400 years of people looking like you,
I'm nodding.
Oppressing people like me, you're going to do that? Really?
I look at it more like I like to look at it like I appreciate your culture and I want to assimilate it. But and but with acknowledgement, like I think we should just be patient with white America, not in the sense, I mean, and I know I'm going to catch a lot of flack from Black women, my sisters, especially because they're real with me. They come at me real quick. But because I'm a compassionate person, I feel like we just told a whole bunch of people there's no such thing as Santa Claus. The foundation of our government and our history is now crumbling. The illusion of perfection is now dissipating, and the truth of evil, negativity, and horror is now coming to light. The behaviors of people 40, 50, 60 years ago, some of which are still on this planet, were an abomination and were excused and accepted and almost appreciated. Postcards were created from hanging individuals and from burning Black communities, color communities of color. Okay, so we can sit here and say, like, oh, they don't need it. No, they do. Because if you literally take me out of this house that I currently live in, because I'm human, and you say, you don't belong there because the people that owned it before, I just bought it. I just bought the house. I didn't know that it was really owned by somebody else. You can't just take it away from me. You feel me?
Right.
So help me transition into a new home so that these people can get their home back. I'm not saying that they can't have their home, and that gets into like a reparations and stuff. I'm not even talking about money. I'm just simply talking about history.
Yeah.
Because if they can understand why people are, the education of the human psyche, okay, then it'll bode well for better conversations, more tolerance of one another, and then forgiveness of self for believing the BS that you were taught, and then recognition, like, okay, then this is the new information and I respect you now. I didn't know that our government, let's say I was white. I didn't know our government.
I pretended to be Black just a minute ago.
There you go. I know all the time. You do it all the time. I love it.
Shut up.
Y'all don't know our private conversations. This is as private as we get. This is real, okay? So with that being said,
I almost want to say race trader again, but
it just comes out, okay? He be coming for me, y'all. You don't know. Anyway, but that's what brothers and sisters do. But here's the deal. So what I'm saying is, what was my point? Oh God, Jared, I lost my point. We are such nuts.
It's exhaustion. It is exhaustion. But you were saying that say that you were white. And,
let's say that
you were using the house. You started off the house, and then
yes, I would be flabbergasted if I was. It's literally, it's like putting myself in someone else's shoes, and I, as a Black person, am putting myself in a white person's shoes that don't even live around Black people. This is all like, where is this coming from? So this is where the compassion, this is where the kindness, this is where the consideration, because I do have to now, because I am blessed with an exponential amount of knowledge and education and comfort with Black culture and history and every, all of it. I then have to understand who I'm dealing with. Maybe it's the nurse in me that says, you know what, I have to empathize with you, and not necessarily like give you a pass, but help you come to fruition, help you come to enlightenment, so that you can start taking the steps to understand, oh, this is why we need police reform. Oh, this is why we need to change our judicial system. This is why we need to be more active in government. Yeah, and see what's on the House floor right now and talk about it as a nation. in real time, okay? So that we can go to our senators and our congressmen and be like, y'all can't sign that because I didn't vote you to do that.
Yeah.
And now there's going to be people to say, just like with this election, this is time for conversations like this that are hard because it can't just be like white people. Black people, we gotta, I could talk about Black people's community all day because I live here for real.
Right.
But in relation to white people, like, I don't know, this is just a topic. This is just, come on, get in the conversation, y'all. Try to help me. Let me help you understand compassion, respect, and love of one another.
Help you.
That's right. What was that?
Well, here's my, I'm again playing devil's advocate.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my rebuttal to that entire thing. It takes that white person that you're talking to recognize themselves, self-reflect.
That's true.
And recognize that, no, I'm not inherently evil because I'm inadvertently, unwittingly, unknowingly taking advantage of a system that was set up for me to benefit.
There we go. Say it again. Say it for the people in the back. No, Jared, I'm serious. It just hit me like a ton of fucking bricks. You know why? Because it's like, I had this white woman tell me I can't help it that I was born white. And I was like, I know you can't help it that you was born white. The fact of the matter is, it's like, okay, I'm white. It's okay.
Yeah.
But now I see that the system was designed in my favor. Now we throw around the term white privilege, but the fact of the matter is, do you see the system? Can you acknowledge that?
And I'll give you a prime example of that. If you recall back up to our conversation, and I'm not meaning, I don't want to divert this into a political conversation. I'm using this as a prime example of what Monet just said. And that is, take Trump. Keep everything about him. His personality, his traits, his characteristics, his mentality, everything he's said and tweeted and everything else. Keep all of that. Now imagine he's black. Do you think he would be in office still?
No.
Do you think it would have been
absolutely
the
not.
Senate would have taken as long as they did to prolong the impeachment process?
Absolutely not. Oh, let's say he's Latinx. Ooh, wake up.
Yeah.
A darker Latinx. Because that's another conversation for next week. Because I got some history on Cuba and why the Cuban community and Florida is all Republican.
I have my guesses.
Yeah.
I have my guesses.
Yeah. And I didn't know Castro.
Without even looking at it, I have my guesses. But my point, but that goes back, just using that as example, that speaks to systemic racism and how it's designed to benefit white people from the get-go. I could even take it further back than that and provide evidence.
I mean, think about it.
That the Revolutionary War was actually fought over slavery. Yeah, taxation without representation, my ass. You know what they were paying taxes on? Their slaves.
And they didn't want to do that.
They didn't want to do that. King wanted to continue profiting off his European slave owners because there were black slaves in Europe and England at the time. The Atlantic slave trade, and England was part of that. So
how many cabinet members were from down south that voted, that wanted that Revolutionary War? Just saying.
Yeah.
Wake up.
Exactly.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Just saying. It's like, people, we gotta love, man. We gotta find out how to fall in love with each other because we are evolving. I'm not gonna stop saying it, man. We are evolving. This is what being a higher, responsible humanness.
Yeah, exactly. I was telling you the other day that our conversations have evolved
Oh,
since we first
yeah.
started this. Because when we first started this, it was all Black Lives Matter,
Black
and
Lives Matter.
yeah, and speaking of the history of that, and to speaking on my awakening and the terminology, and just now here we are talking history, humanity, and the big picture. So,
Wow. And it's going to even get better because this is we're chronicalizing history right now.
mhm.
We bring up history. I'm telling you, this Latinx thing is like, whoa.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Oh my God, I
yeah,
didn't know. I mean, like
yeah.
the Native Americans are starting to say, hey, you know what? We really do want our land back for real.
Oh, oh, oh. Gotta tell you, you brought it. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna put it out there. Like, you brought it up to that point. I love that it's been reported that Biden has tapped a Native American to be the Secretary of the Interior. Do you know what the Secretary of the Interior is in charge of? The
Land
fucking
distribution.
land.
I was about to say. What?
National parks, state.
Come
I mean,
on.
just
Come on. It's all encompassing.
oh my
man.
gosh. I'm like,
It's
are you
all
kidding me? That's just so
encompassing.
great.
Yo, I want to be like Canada. It's not in the sense like, because Canada is its own beautifulness. It has its own issues. But the whole recycling thing,
Uh-huh.
the whole, lessening our carbon footprint. Yo, we can't keep feeding Neanderthals, man. I'm just saying, we need evolution.
Yeah.
I'm ghetto. I don't even have straws. I was raised, I didn't have no straws as kids. If I saw a bendy straw, I actually got excited. You understand? So
the funny part is I believe that.
It's true. Yo, Jared, real
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Come
oh
on. It was like, yo, they gave me a free toy.
That's funny.
Yo,
That's awesome.
hold on. I just got to do this again. Because I want to go Carolyn, right?
Yeah, we got to. Yeah, I know. I saw that.
Okay. I want to.
And if I was there, I'd be like, yeah, I'll provide the bass or baritone harmony for you. That's all right.
Man, 6 feet. These houses are beautiful.
Yeah.
I just want to stand outside, give them 5 songs, and keep it pushing. Have a thermos of hot chocolate. Come on. Somebody's like, I'm gonna throw a snowball at you. That's ignorant.
It's funny.
It ain't nothing else to do. It's like, I'm gonna shoot you some video, Jerry. I am going to be outside.
Well, did we ever get to an answer of the question that I posed
about
several minutes ago? And
about
how,
the other.
Where it actually stems from, or
I thought we did, but
yeah, I'm just making sure that we actually answered that question, because I don't want to leave our audience hanging like, hey man, they never actually did answer the question.
I mean, how about this? We pose the question again to the audience, and then see who wants to come on. Who didn't? Let's bring your assistant teacher on.
Oh, he would have a fun time.
Let's do it.
I would tell you. Okay, Sarah, I'll talk to him.
Yes. Have him listen to this episode and then see what his rebuttal is and how he can elaborate on it. I swore we answered it. Like, what we kind of did.
I know that I voiced my opinion about.
How about this?
Started about. I think the other originated when black was defined, therefore defining white. Now, if you want to make the argument that the other stems from slavery, when at the beginning of the caste system, back in the agrarian civilizations, I would tell you that even the lowest caste, they were producers. No, well, not producers. They were. They produced the food that went out to the civilization, I should say. And so,
like a laborer, so to speak.
They were a laborer, absolutely. But it would stand to reason that because they had shelter, because they were able to kind of clothed themselves because they were, now granted there were slaves, but those, I don't, in my opinion, I don't think the slaves below the lowest caste were considered. Actually, no, the slaves were actually part of the lowest caste.
Well, actually,
The
no,
exiles
they
were
were
lower.
actually, I was about to say, they weren't even considered a part of the caste system.
My point being, the lowest caste had
Money.
there was some kind of compensation going on. Yeah, there was
Yeah.
some kind of trade going on. Is my point, and so, and they were part of the community. They were the same people, so to speak. Now, there was a hierarchy, but they were still a communal people, in a very loose, same color. Let's put it that way. That's what I'm trying to get.
Yes.
There was no distinguishing that. Um, and so there was no sense of the other in the terms that we know it today.
Exactly. Well, I mean, maybe the slaves were considered other. No, they were slaves. They had their own title. They were slaves.
Yeah.
Period. They weren't the farmers, the economic, they weren't a part of that economic system. They were property.
Yeah.
And so with that being said, that means there needs to be more education. I mean, because think about it, back how many was this 2006, over almost 600 years ago, okay, when slavery really was instituted and initiated, or profitized off of.
Right.
People, the Europeans really marveled at their alabaster skin color, which would be perceived as white. And then depending on, I mean, the skin, I can tell you, as a African-American Black woman in the United States, in the summertime, I'm like 2-3 shades darker because the sun just hits it different. You feel me?
Yeah.
So even though we're brown skin, we, cinnamon, nutmeg, whatever you want to call it, it get me hungry. Anyway, it's all in here, Jared. I'm sorry.
It's all
good. They in the summer, when they would trap these people, they were a much darker complexion. Would be the opposite, like, oh, it's not me, the opposite, so it's black. The negros, that's where it comes from, the word. And I was like a teenager when I found out the word where nigger came from was derived from the Portuguese and Spanish term for black.
Wow.
Negro.
Yeah.
Negras. I mean, it just is. Look, my girlfriend from Costa Rica enlightened me to do more research on the Cuban Fidel Castro and what they taught us in high school, that he was a dictator and he was a proponent of communism and he was horrible to his people. His people wanted to get away. I found out there's no such thing as Santa Claus. When Fidel Castro came into power, he wanted everyone to have the same. He wanted anybody who wanted to be a doctor to be a doctor, because in Cuba, colorism was huge. And the people, like, please forgive me because I love her, but Gloria Estefan's people and was this Ricky Ricardo, they were all wealthy people that happened to be of fairer skin complexion when they came to United States, and they liked the caste system of the United States. They liked that they could hide within white culture.
Yeah.
Whereas Fidel Castro was he was like, I don't care what color you are.
Yeah.
If you want to be a doctor, you can be a doctor. If you want to be a lawyer, I mean, we have only so many that could fit. We have only so many necessities, so many spots.
Right.
But if this is what you want, this is what you can have.
Yeah.
And it became he was very upset with the wealthy people that left. So it's a long story. There's more history. We got to research that.
Yeah.
But it all derives from colorism and racism. And we were taught that he was horrible. Jared. Because I did. I was like, Fidel Castro, that dictator. And my girlfriend was like, don't eat everything they give you. I'm like, what? Yeah, I didn't know that. And so I heard people from other countries going to Cuba to become physicians.
Right on.
I didn't know that, or whatever,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, to
I
your
don't
point
know.
of, oh, what was I getting at? To your point of, we were taught, XYZ.
Hmm.
We were taught, and I've read it directly out of a textbook, and then I had to stop and like, all right, we need to talk about this. In one paragraph, it talks about invading armies and how they came and conquered, and it didn't use the word slaughter, just say it conquered, right? Uh, and in the very next paragraph, not 3 lines below that, these conquering armies are now neighbors.
We're talking about, for those that don't know, we're talking about history, how history books are written in the United States, and how
That
they just
yeah.
glaze over things
Well,
and
and
make it
history
seem
books
like
will, history books from the one like
in the
American
United
history or
States.
whatever,
Hmm.
world history from this time to the present. Fidel, Cuba is in there. Fidel Castro, the Cuban Missile Crisis, and all that other stuff that's in there. Yeah, Castro is depicted as a evil dictator who mistreated his people and stuff like that. But history is written by the victors, yo.
And they want you to know what they want you to know so they can
Mm-hmm.
perpetuate, and I wouldn't say propaganda, but I would call it nationalism,
Mm-hmm.
so that we all have one
Exceptionalism.
mind. Exactly. We're not going to
Mm-hmm.
talk about that,
Mm-hmm.
but this is the most important part, and we're great. And
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
we don't. But when you're like a kid, you're in your formative stages. You're like, okay,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and that's what this generation's doing. That's
Yeah.
why we had Max on. We're gonna look for other
Yeah.
teenagers to come
Oh
talk
yeah. We
to
need
us.
more Gen Zers.
Mm-hmm.
Gen Zers they're the ones that
Yeah,
lead
they're
it. Yep.
yeah, and we're the generation. Generation X is like, okay, let them teach us because I want to know.
Mm-hmm.
I want to hear what you have to say, and not in
Exactly.
disrespect, because we were like, our parents were like, shut up, don't talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
Shh,
Yeah, that's
shh,
taboo. Can't talk about it.
suppress,
Yeah. Yeah.
suppress, suppress, suppress.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, we had a private conversation. We're not talking about it now.
Yeah.
But
No,
I'm
we
just
got time.
saying, absolutely not. But yeah, you talk about suppression. So now we're the generation, we're the pivotal generation that says, give them audience.
Yeah.
Let them
Absolutely.
talk.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's right. Because they're trying to, we need to learn. We need to learn with fresh eyes how to do it, because those eyes back there, y'all just was perpetuating the primate mentality.
I'm gonna give a plug. I've not. You just got me thinking about Dave Chappelle's Saturday Night Live monologue.
Ooh, ooh,
White people,
ooh.
you need black eyes. You need black
Yeah.
eyes to save yourselves. You know, to save yourself from
Really good.
yourselves. You know.
Yes, that was a really good monologue,
Oh
by
my
the way.
gosh. If you do, if you're curious about it, Google it. Just
Yeah,
Dave Chappelle
Hulu
SNL
has.
monologue. Oh man.
That's right.
Oh man.
SNL, YouTube, got it.
Yeah. Oh man.
Got it.
So anyway,
What
on
time?
that note, we are at that time, guys. We told you we were trying to be better with the time management.
Better. It's December. I can keep doing it.
It is December and it is festive. I don't know if we're gonna. Yeah, we're not doing Christmas songs. Um,
Okay.
yeah, no. Anyway, on that note, thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you.
If you like what you hear, come like our page on Facebook, TNT with MJ. Tell your friends about us. You can find us on Spotify, Google Podcast, iHeartRadio, excuse me,
God
Spreaker,
bless you.
Twitter, Facebook. We're not really hard to find.
No.
If you have any questions, email us, guys.
Please.
Join the conversation. Let us know what you're thinking. Let us know
Yes.
what you think about these conversations. What questions you might have, or what thoughts or comments you might have. Please join the comments. And if you're on YouTube, put your comment below, all that good stuff. Like the page, subscribe to the page, all that good stuff. So on that note, Monet, final word.
Please, everyone, don't forget to love each other, love yourself. This is every day is mental health awareness. Whatever makes you happy, just be good about it. Be kind and loving. And that's all I have to say for right now.
Amen. Until next week, guys.
Amen. Till next week. Bye.